Donkey Kong 64 is a special game to me. It always has been. There are a lot of games that are special to me, but this one has always been high on the list for me. And I love seeing that it's special to other people as well. It isn't perfect, but man, there's a lot to love about it. My very first video on this channel is about defending Donkey Kong 64. It was an idea for a video I wanted to make for a long time. The video is now 7 years old, but at the time, it felt like this game was receiving a whole lot of hate on the internet. I simply couldn't believe it. How could one of my favorite games receive this much hate? So, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to say something. I felt like I needed to make a video and talk about Donkey Kong 64. I had a couple other YouTube channels at the time, but none of them felt appropriate for a video about Donkey Kong. And those channels were either irrelevant to gaming or weren't really picking up traction to begin with. So I made this new video, and then I made this new channel. And boom, it all kind of started there, 7 years ago. So why Donkey Kong December? There's a handful of different reasons why I got this idea for a series. I totally say this jokingly, but when Donkey said he was going to do a new video every single day of December, and then didn't, I pretty much said, fine, I'll do it myself. Not following through with it is very Donkey, and that series is hysterical. I still go back and watch it from time to time. But something crazy happened to me around July 2022. A video of mine kind of went viral. I mean, not like viral. I didn't get millions of views or anything like that, but an older video randomly hit 300,000 views. Almost overnight, which came with a lot newer subscribers. And you know what that means. I became qualified for the YouTube Partnership Program. So at that time, I wasn't all that focused on YouTube. If an idea came along that I was really excited about, and I made the time for it, a new video would be in the works. Money was never a consideration or a priority for me. It wasn't back then, and it still isn't now. But knowing that I can make money off of my videos, however big or small, it's certainly a motivator. People clearly enjoy my videos, so I should do more of this. Going into August of 2022, I made more of an effort to try to make videos more frequently. Not every day, not every week, but just keep making videos that I'm proud of and see what sticks. By October 2022, I came up with a fun idea for a Donkey Kong video. Let's rank all the worlds. There's so many ideas coming in already, let's make this happen. Everyone watching really enjoyed it, more so than the other videos. And it keeps growing and growing every week. And I think it was around that time when I decided, okay, Donkey Kong is my guy. I should do a Donkey Kong December. So around December 2022, I started coming up with a list of ideas for videos. Oh, let's do a video on each world. Oh, how about the music? Let's talk about the guns. Which is the best golden banana or the worst golden banana? Even if it was a half idea, I would write down everything. I could turn a half idea into a full idea later. Let's just see how many ideas I can come up with and go from there. By the end of 2022, I had maybe 28 or 29 good concepts for videos. And with 31 days of the month, I pretty much figured, okay, I might be looking at daily videos. Can I do that? Can I pull that off? A video every single day for a month? I mean, I just said jokingly that if Donkey didn't do it, I will. So with a little more time to think up ideas, eventually I came up with 31 videos. Great. Now to sit with every single one of these ideas and turn them into full-blown scripts. I started off the new year strong. January of 2023, I would get home from work and start writing. Had a long break, I would use that time to write. Weekends, write. Each video varies in length, but every idea required a couple of pages of writing to form a solidified full video. At the time, it was a little difficult to know how long a final video would look like and how many pages I should aim for. But hey, ultimately, it comes down to the ideas and feeling like I hit all the marks with the subject. I don't recall how many scripts I was finalizing at the time. It might have been like one a week or one every other week. Some ideas just came naturally. The couple of videos reviewing each world are very opinion based, and other videos required a bit of research to get myself more familiar with the subject or answer my own questions. It's a big game after all. I wanted to make sure I was as accurate as possible and remembered every aspect of the game. Writing the scripts was certainly a continuous process. I finalized maybe half of the scripts before ever thinking of recording the voiceover. Ordinarily, I would finish a script, record the voiceover, and go straight into the edit. But so many of these ideas are linked together in a way, or reference one another in a way. This is why I've been saying this project is like working on a feature film or television series. These are individual ideas for 31 videos, but what if I make a new discovery along the way? Some scripts would get finalized in February and others later on in the year. Those older scripts will need to get touched up later down the road, and it's a real pain to re-record voiceovers or try to patch and edit with updated information. Not like it's the biggest pain in the world, but I've done this kind of thing before. I'm not on a team for this project. It's all me, excluding my guest stars. So I didn't read a script until I was certain it was ready to go. I would say once half the scripts were really locked in is when I started recording the voiceovers. Doing this kind of helped me understand how long a script turned out, as well as areas in the script that worked or didn't work. I kind of started out with the easier videos anyways, so I felt like this was a natural way to work on more challenging videos later on. And while I was writing and recording, I would play the game. In the film industry, production involves actors, the crew and equipment, the director, filming on location. A whole lot of people and a whole lot of steps are involved with this process. And that's why film credits are incredibly long. Obviously, Donkey Kong December is not this. I mean, for the most part, it's not this. But I still had a huge checklist of footage that needed to be captured. First thing is first, I needed the entire game to be at my disposal. If I'm going to make daily videos on a single game, I basically need to play the whole game. So that's what I did. I started a new save file in early 2023 and recorded the entire experience. And that's not a complaint by any means. It made for a good excuse to play the game again. But I had to really make sure I was playing it at every angle. Lose some challenges and then win them. I have to show the audience what it's like to lose Beaver Bother or the arcade game, and then I could show what it's like to be victorious. But creative moments can come up during any adventure, like getting knocked off the ledge as Lanky Kong, which only further proved my point about Crystal Caves, as well as discovering a glitch accidentally, and eventually resorting to glitches to beat the game. I did not 101% this playthrough, by the way. I captured everything I needed. I played Beaver Bother, but couldn't bother to beat them. I don't have it in me to get that dang Nintendo coin, so yeah. I used glitches to get that final boss key, and I'm proud of it. It made for good content, alright? But it's not just the adventure mode that I needed to replay. There's the Kong Battle multiplayer, the Animal Buddies arenas, the DK64 randomizer, get specific moments with the enemies, playing as Crusha, and then there's footage needed outside of the game, such as real footage of me holding the cartridge or controller, looking up trailers and archival footage. The list really grows and grows. And sometimes I would require a piece of footage during the edit. Like, it popped in my head well after recording the script. Here's a funny idea for a joke, or here's a unique way to show something while I describe it. But I've been working with over 300 gigabytes of footage. I wasn't mentally prepped to take up that much storage, but this is why you always get big hard drives. So there's the footage, but I also need the footage to follow along with something audible. Obviously, that's where my voice comes in. With half of the scripts ready to hit the recording booth, I got to really feel this project start to come alive. Writing is one thing, but putting my own voice to it is another. Some days I would record maybe 2, 3, or 4 scripts in one sitting. It really depended on the day and how long the scripts were. Other days I'd only have time to record one script. But it's a whole lot of talking. These videos don't seem all that long, but the uncut versions of these recordings can easily go 30 to 45 minutes long, depending on the script. I'd stumble on a few words, have a difficult time enunciating, or discover suddenly I have a lisp that never showed up until now. And talking that much really damages the voice. I've started doing a handful of 4-hour live streams, and I'm usually pooped by the end of it. Talking is work. But once you have all the footage on standby and the scripts are recorded, it's time to go to the edit. This is where the real magic is made. I absolutely love editing. I've been doing it for quite some time now. It's a really unique way of storytelling and providing information or opinions. Or, in this case, talking about Donkey Kong. If you can think it, you can pretty much do it, and that's the beauty in editing. So if coming up with ideas and writing the scripts are the heavy lifting part, and recording voiceovers and capturing the footage is the time-consuming part, then editing is truly where the video starts. I've got all the puzzle pieces, now to put it all together. I started actually editing the first video of the series probably around July or August of 2023. Like I said earlier, I kind of started with the easier videos. The world reviews and other opinion videos were pretty straightforward when it came to the edit. If I'm reviewing Angry Aztec, all I have to do is pull up all the footage for the world. Anytime I discussed those bonus stage barrels was a headache. They're scattered around the game, and it's so difficult to keep track of each one. Thankfully, a quick Google search tells me their location and which Kong accesses them. But this kind of project absolutely created an unfun scavenger hunt. You definitely need to stay on top of organization. Also, I really should have visited Snide. Most of the bonus stages are available to him at the end of the game. Oh well, lessons learned. So while some of the quick and easy videos were already getting finished up, there was a batch of videos that took much more time to process. Some videos like what would a sequel look like or let's add animal buddies make for really interesting ideas, but it's difficult to create a video of something that doesn't exist. And I'm not an animator or have the resources to pay for an animator, so I had to get a little creative with what I had. Photos and sound design are really helpful ways to tell a story on a budget. And I think it's a great way to stay real with your audience and not be too flashy. After all, we're all here to talk about DK. I'm not making an animated feature film. The timeline from starting to ending an edit can get really hairy though. I would say on average, one of these videos was getting finished within 2 weeks. With a full-time job and other adult responsibilities, making time to dedicate to this project got challenging. I can write a script just about anywhere, but when it comes to editing, I'm most efficient at my desk. But that doesn't mean I'd give up. It's all about doing what I can each day. If I couldn't dedicate a large chunk of time to editing, maybe I would work on the thumbnails, or coming up with the titles for each video, or even coming up with a schedule that makes sense. There's a lot of little things outside of the edit that can take time, and I didn't want those things to slip through the cracks. There were a few good moments when I was able to really crank out a new video within a week, or really grind through a weekend to get another one fully ready to go. By September 2023, I was making decent progress overall, but a huge red flag popped up. I was maybe close to halfway through editing all 31 videos, but I still had the other half completely untouched. Half of the scripts never started writing, which meant I still had the other half of the voiceovers to record, and only 50% of the project edits complete. Some of these ideas were still half-baked ideas. I had a lot of work left to do, and less than half of the year to finish. While I thought I was making good progress, I could see the domino effect. The end of the year gets crazy busy. I mean, once Halloween arrives, everything picks up. I mean, heck, once September is here, I really feel life picking up speed. I didn't want this project to feel rushed or sacrifice the quality in any way. So I made the tough call to postpone DK December to 2024. And honestly, I'm still so relieved I made that call. For starters, I never made an announcement in 2023. Only 2 other people on planet Earth knew of my project. So the only one getting let down was me. And it was seriously a good call. Art shouldn't be rushed. Your passion projects are just that. Nobody's life is on the line. It was for the best, and I'm glad I did it for dozens of other reasons. So 2024 came, and I felt like I could breathe a little better. Moving the deadline by a year really allowed myself to take my time and not stress over it, as well as reevaluate what I want of this series. But speaking of reevaluating, I had to figure out what to do with my channel for the year. 2023 was already a rather quiet year for my channel. Just a few uploads here and there, just to let people know I'm still alive. I was dedicating so much time to these videos that would go months and months before being seen by the public. What am I to do for another year? The YouTube algorithm is very confusing. It's not clear exactly how it works. The YouTube guru channels have theories that are helpful, but you kind of need to take it with a grain of salt. But regardless, I knew I couldn't let my channel just go silent for a whole year. By the time a DK December announcement would be made, who would be there to see it? Going into 2024, I made a little channel update video. I played it off like a Nintendo Direct. I thought it was funny. That video was the very first sign of DK December. Me just telling the world, hey, something big is coming. You just gotta be patient. I think that allowed myself to feel okay with going silent. The wait was worth it. The hard work was worth it. I just knew it was necessary to release a few videos once in a while over the course of 2024. Now that I'm looking back on that year, I'm surprised I uploaded as much as I did. There's these two really large Pokemon videos, which I'm very proud of, but it definitely took time away from DK December. But also I needed that little break. It's good to walk away from projects, work on something completely different, and coming back feeling refreshed. Then there was the announcement video released in the middle of the year, as well as the video for a lost 3D DK game. These were both great videos to kind of dip my toes and get a feel for how people feel about DK64. The response was exactly what I was hoping for. Yes, people are interested in Donkey Kong 64. And with an official announcement being made, that got more people's attention. And now that the deadline is real, more real than ever, I truly need to make sure everything is finished before December 2024. At some point, I had a little light bulb moment. Originally, the trailer for Donkey Kong December was going to go live on December 1st. But then I realized that's kind of silly. The trailer should happen before December. Oh gosh, that means I need to make another video. So now I'm going from 31 videos to 32 videos. I don't even have another idea yet, but that's fine. I'll come up with something later. If it means the viewers get another video out of me, I think that's a win. So eventually, the ability tier list video popped in my head. It was the last idea and the last edit to get finalized. And weirdly enough, I thought it made for a solid first upload for the month. Also, I didn't want to change up the schedule, so it just worked. But then, as 2024 was unrolling, I realized that DK64 was going to approach its 25th anniversary. 25! That's such a good number for an anniversary, and I definitely wanted to make a video to celebrate it. What day is the anniversary? November 22nd. Just a few days before Donkey Kong December. So basically I went from 31 to 32 videos, and then 33 videos. The deadline might have been pushed back, but the number of videos went up with it. Still not complaining. I made it all happen within that timeline, and everything turned out the way I had hoped. Friendships on YouTube are really important for content creators. You need to have people who are rooting for you, and to have people that you are rooting for. It's one of the best ways to learn and grow your own craft, or provide tips and feedback to other creators on this platform. It's really interesting. Before 2024, I didn't really have a group of people. Before 2024, it felt like I was making videos for myself. Which you should. You should enjoy the videos that you are making. But now it feels like I'm making videos for friends, for people who are sticking around and watching. And I try to do my best to return the favor. What does this have to do with Donkey Kong December? Well, there's definitely a connection here. Around March or April of 2024, YouTube did something pretty unusual. It recommended a good video to me, defending Donkey Kong 64. Wait a minute. I made a video like that. What's going on here? I stopped everything that I was doing and watched the video. All I can say was I immediately loved the video, and I loved the creator behind the video. So I went to Twitter, shouted from the rooftop that DK64 is a good game, and expressed how pumped I was to see another creator defend it. And little did I know that this entire exchange, the video being recommended, me loving it, and showing some love online, sparked a new friendship. Jiggy Lookback is an awesome guy, and his channel is nothing short of excellence. Seeing this DK video and watching similar videos really motivated me. These are the type of videos that I make. His editing style is what I like. And this is proof that more people are interested in this subject. This really motivated me to keep pushing with DK December. Continue to look for areas to fine-tune it, and be proud of my work. But this kind of friendship opened the door to understanding YouTube even better. We've shared theories, pros and cons, what works best, what doesn't, and of course, collab videos. I mean, who doesn't love a collab video? It's a wonderful way for two creators to bring their audiences together and create a video that wouldn't otherwise be made. This also led to me getting comfortable with live streams. I didn't think I would ever do it. It just seemed intimidating. I've watched some large YouTubers stream, and it seems extremely overwhelming from the creator's point of view. But watching a smaller channel live stream is a completely different vibe. And so watching some of Jiggy's streams, as well as being a part of his streams, it was the gentle push I needed to give it a shot. And what better game than DK64? Playing a game I already know very well is a huge positive. I can navigate playing the game at ease and interact with chat no problem. And of course, the first live stream was only a few months away from December, so a wonderful way to promote this upcoming series. With new and old viewers popping into the stream, interacting with everyone in real time is totally different. It's fun. We get to share this moment together at the same time. And the more viewers that would interact, the more I would recognize them. This would be the beginning of even more YouTube friendships. Seeing more creators join the chat like Night Yoshi, Millschoolin, Retro Robbie, the list just keeps growing. There's a lot of great creators and viewers out there, and I just feel lucky that you all show an interest in me. And of course, the more live streams I was doing, you all started to express an interest in a Discord server. While I was hesitant, it's certainly been another great way to interact with all of you watching. The Kong family grows stronger and stronger, and this allows me to understand what kind of videos I should be creating going forward. So, nearing the end of September, I had finished every Donkey Kong December video except for one. Why is this game not on Nintendo Switch Online? I saved it for last for obvious reasons. The game could make it to NSO at any given time. It could be added before I make the video, after the edit, before December. I mean, there's no way of knowing, is it even going to happen at all? If Nintendo made an announcement before this video was released, it would completely change the video for that day. I might not even have a new idea in time to replace that one. Even during the beginning of all this, I wasn't entirely sure how to even make a video about this subject to begin with. I had my own theories, but is that entertaining enough? And as the months passed by, as I sat with this one final idea, it just felt like it made sense for this video to be a collab video. Of course, with a channel that makes similar videos, Jiggy Lookback was on board. We hopped on Discord late September and shared all kinds of theories, questions for each other, our hopes for future games, and just had a great talk. And of course, since that conversation, other rare games would be announced for NSO. One random day we got Banjo-Tooie. Suddenly we got Donkey Kong Land, then Donkey Kong Land 2, and then 3. The edit was finalized along with the rest of Donkey Kong December in October. But these games kept getting added to NSO. It was so nerve-wracking, in a good way. I want this game to come to NSO after the video goes live. I even bumped the video to the first week just to be safe. I had already made a schedule for each video, and it was just stressing me out that another rare game would be added. But the video turned out great. I loved seeing the comments share their hopes and theories, as well as what they would want to see in a DK64 remake or sequel. We can all dream, right? It's fun to share ideas, even if they end up being nothing but ideas. And as of recording this video, there's still no sign of DK64. All right, so now let's turn to your questions. Earlier December, I mentioned that I would be doing an AMA, Ask Me Anything, whether it be for the series, the game, just about anything. You got the Qs, I got the As. We got MJ91 asking, make a DK64 song tier list. That is a super cool idea, an idea I have written down to do as well. So the fact that you guys want that is fantastic. I'll probably break that up into categories like the worlds and I don't know, bonus stages. So there's just so much music in this game. Like, I don't even know, like 6 hours worth. So yes, I want to do that. That sounds fantastic. Let's do it. We got Saran Dad Storm asking if they added transfer pack functionality to DK64 with the Donkey Kong Land games, what content do you think would come from it? That's a really good question. I've never played the Donkey Kong Land games yet, so I truly don't know what could come from it. And my only experience with the transfer pack comes from the Pokemon games, Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Crystal, Silver, and to the N64 Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. So with that understanding, I think who knows, that opens the door to, I guess, anything. I don't know what that could be. I think I gotta lean towards you guys in the comments to kind of share what you think, what kind of content can come from those games. All right, we got Night Yoshi here with a handful of questions. I'm gonna go through them one by one. Thank you, buddy. If you can only pick one Kong to come back besides Donkey and Diddy for obvious reasons, in the next Donkey Kong game, who would it be and why? That's a super difficult question. I'm gonna stick with the Kongs in 64, between Tiny, Link, and Chunky. I mean, I guess my answer would have to be Lanky because he's the most unique of the 5. He feels like a very new Kong. Obviously Tiny is very much like Dixie. Obviously Chunky is brother to Kitty. So it'd be really cool to see what else Lanky can provide to the team, right? What's your favorite DK December video overall? That's a tough call because I really like a lot of them. I will say the video discussing the sound and music in the game is one of my favorites. It's an aspect of any media that gets overlooked, in my opinion. And I felt like I brought a lot to the table with that video. I will also say the video discussing the guns being real, that was just a funny video to me. I genuinely crack up when I watch it. It's just like silly humor all around, and it works really well with the Kongs. Will you be doing this every December? I would like to say yes. I think it really comes down to if I have enough ideas for videos and if I can make the time to happen, right? We will see. Who would you rather take out on a date, Candy or Dixie? I guess Candy's got some good taste in music. Any chance you think I could do a DK64 video with you in the future? Yes, of course. Collab videos are always on the table. It's always going to come down to the timing and what ideas can be formed, right? We've got Matthias Solson 1523. I butchered that name. What is your first Donkey Kong game you've played and finished? So, funny enough, I have not played a lot of other Donkey Kong games. I have played some of the actual arcade games at an arcade, but otherwise, my experience with the series is very limited, funny enough. I'm trying to think of what the first Donkey Kong game was that I ever played, but DK64 was definitely like the big one, the first one that I played and finished. Later on, it was Tropical Freeze. I know. I know. I've got Nils Vandemelon 3023. A couple questions here. I'll get through them. Number one, what is your favorite and least favorite bonus barrel game? Great question. I basically have a video discussing both of those, I believe. Off the top of my head, least favorite it's got to be Beaver Bother. There's some rough ones, but Beaver Bother definitely it takes the cake, right? My favorite bonus barrel, it might be. I mean, I really like the Minecart Mayhem. I just think it's a fun game, and one of those challenges that's like a genuine puzzle. You know, if you could change one boss fight, which one would it be? That's a really tough one. I would really like to see changes to the Armadillo fights. The rematches, they're whatever, but I feel like the rematch with Armadillo is not enough. You know what I mean? Like the Dogadon rematch felt like a huge shift, but The Armadillo rematch just felt like it was essentially the same with a little bit more. I don't know if it makes sense for that version to be the only version of the boss fight to exist, and then just a brand new boss fight can replace one of them, but that's kind of the one that has me the least excited. All right, number 3, we got what would be your shooting fruit if you could choose? That's a good question. I mean, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. What else could an apple do, right? But if the question is about which of the current shooting fruits I could choose, I think I would choose Linky's grape shooter. That's got to be like the lightest shooter to carry around, and it's still deadly. So it's essentially just you get a little sniper scope and just get people. All right, and finally we got which level do you want to play in real life if you're allowed to pick one? That's an awesome question. As much as I dislike Crystal Caves, I actually think that would be a lovely place to visit in real life. And then I'm also thinking about Fungi Forest. I mean, that's just a humongous world. There's so much to explore. Even though nighttime could be a little dangerous, daytime alone would be worthwhile. So I guess that's kind of 2 possible answers there. All right, I got Skaloshi here with a couple different questions I'll answer. Number 1, which Donkey Kong game have you already played? Yeah, I mean, we just kind of answered, weirdly enough, just DK64, Tropical Freeze, and then some of the actual arcade games. It's crazy that for a channel that talks about Donkey Kong this much, I haven't actually played that much Donkey Kong to begin with, but that is something I want to change. Number 2, if you were the 6th Kong of the crew, which musical instrument would you have? That is a great question. That's a tough question because I do play the saxophone in real life, which Tiny has taken, and I do play guitar in real life, which Diddy has taken. So I'm trying to think of other instruments that I would want. I'm kind of going in circles with this one in my head, so I guess I'm gonna go with the drum set. I got Lemmy15 with a couple different questions here. What is your favorite phase of the K. Rool fight in DK64? I actually think it's gonna be Tiny's phase, just because it was the least expected of the 5 phases. I mean, it makes perfect sense to the Kong, but somehow shrinking down and going into K. Rool's shoe and shooting arrows at his toes, I mean, I never saw such a thing coming, and I just think it's hysterical. And then if I were to remaster my DK64 boss ranking video, would I consider separating each phase of the K. Rool fight to balance out the rankings? Yeah, I think that's an awesome idea. That's a great idea because personally, I think some of the phases are stronger or weaker than others, so I think it makes sense to kind of split it out in a way. All right, I got Fugate97 asking, if you could choose one more Kong to be added to Super Smash Bros., who would it be? I mean, sticking with the Banana Bunch, these 5 Kongs, it's tough because with Chunky, I feel like it could be too similar to DK. I don't know if Tiny could bring enough versatile to like a moveset, and I keep coming back to Linky being the one that can bring a lot of different things to the table. We got Brian's mother asking, excluding bonus barrels, what's your least favorite golden banana to collect? I want to say the DK arcade because it's rough. It's a not good time for sure. But the banana, in my opinion, is easier to collect than the coin, which that's a different collectible. So I think it's actually going to come down to Diddy's cabin in Crystal Caves. That has no business being that difficult. If they added a couple more seconds to the clock, it'd be more fair. That's one that I dread doing every time. I got Dr. Celio Sofola. I butchered that, sorry. Dr. C. Would you agree the DK64 Candy Con design is hotter than the country game or cartoon design? Oh my gosh, people. Hold on, I have not seen this design. Let me quick Google this. Oh, that's what she looks like in the show, huh? Okay. Okay. Oh, that's what she looks like in the game. Okay. Well, if I had to vote, I think I would vote for the Candy Kong in the country game. Not the show, the game. I got Dragon Master asking, what would be your Kong Sona weapon and instrument? Oh yeah. All right, so we've done this one again. I guess if I'm choosing a weapon, I'm going with the apple, and instrument, I'm going with drum set. Which, now that I think about it, that's a ridiculous instrument to carry around. All right, we got Christian asking, if there was a space-themed world, what kind of boss do you think would suit it? For some reason, I'm thinking of a Kremling in an astronaut suit. I feel like Rare would find a really fun, creative way to do such a thing. I think an alien boss fight is also like an obvious safe idea for a boss fight. I'm not quite sure what such a thing would look like, but Rare does a really good job of making different types of enemies. So there's quite a bit of different options out there. Patterfan is asking, which level theme would you have added in DK64? I think a lava fire world would be pretty cool, and I think those type of worlds tend to be really good for like end game worlds, very like challenging, stressful environments, right? And also like there's not a ton of lava in DK64 to begin with. There's 2 or 3 moments in the whole game that I can think of, and they're pretty small moments too, so I think it'd be something that would be worth exploring. Luigi Rocks asks, what made me want to do this entire project to begin with? I guess in a way that is exactly what this whole video is, but overall I've just always loved this game, and it's always bothered me that a lot of people have kind of talked a lot of hate on the internet. Yes, it has flaws, but I think those flaws aren't all that bad to begin with, and there's a lot of really good stuff in this game that is getting overshadowed, right? And I think because of how big this game is, it's pretty easy to come up with 31 different videos for this kind of project. Stuart Simon here has a tricky question here about fungi forests, the lobby, and the mushrooms. And ultimately the question is, if you could have any Kong besides Diddy shoot the mushroom first, which would you choose? And I think the simple answer is DK, just because, right, leader of the bunch, he's the character you get to play as first. And I don't know, I feel like that's a great first resort, like, what character needs to accomplish this? Let's start with the guy that we start with, right? Dylan here asks, what cut content did you find most shocking in DK64? For me, I was really shocked that the ice key from Banjo-Kazooie can be found in the game, and that stop and swap was planned for DK64. Yeah, I gotta agree with you right there. I mean, for someone who's only recently played Banjo for the first time, a lot of this stuff is just kind of mind-blowing to me as well. The fact that an ice key was planned for DK64, stop and swap was planned for DK64, it just kind of has me wondering, like, what else did Rare want to accomplish that they just couldn't? It's very interesting stuff. Sapphire asks, what would you like to see in a DK64 remastered or DK65? And I think the simplest answer is essentially what was discussed in the video. What would a sequel look like? The Garrett asks, what is your preferred weapon of choice from Funky Kong? I don't know if I necessarily have like a preferred. They're all great in their own way. I really like the sound of DK's coconut gun, that ka-chung kind of sound. I like the weight that comes with Chunky's pineapple blaster. I don't know, I think my vote would go to Tiny's, and it's not because it's not a fruit, but it just sounds like an efficient weapon. Kyle is Real asks, if you could have only one Kong ability to use on a day-to-day basis, what would you choose and why? Shoot, I guess I would go with Diddy's jetpack, assuming that controls in real life are better than in-game. Without a doubt, being able to fly and just get around the places quicker, so convenient. My head kind of went straight to Tiny's ponytail twirl, but that's not nearly as efficient as the jetpack, and also I think spinning like that all day would be exhausting, so maybe not quite what I want. All right, Scrat here asks, did you know that Chunky Kong was brought back in the Super Mario Bros. Movie? Yeah, I was so excited to see Chunky in the movie. I gotta say, it was like kind of emotional about it. Not emotional, but just so overwhelmed. Like, I can't believe he was included. They could have easily not, and they made an effort to include him, and I just, thank you. Derry asks, my favorite DK soundtrack. If we're talking of games, easily DK64. Just perfect music. Jim Bro Joe asks what state I live in and if I would collaborate with him on a DK video. I'm kind of a private person, so I'm just gonna say I am in the US. And like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to collabs, always on the table. It just kind of comes down to the timing and what the video is. Bon asks, which Kong's colored banana do you think tastes the best? I don't know why Lanky's has my interest right now. Do you think it could be blue flavored? Starhaven64 asks, how can I enter Crystal Caves in real life? That's funny, the way that I would want to visit it in real life too. You tell me if you find the way. I would like to know too. All right, TW asks, why do I love DK64 so much? I mean, this game certainly plays a nostalgic factor. I played this game when I was very young, but there was also kind of like, not an obsession, but I definitely felt the need to collect everything in this game. More so than like other games that I've played in my life. And so, I don't know, when I was really young, I struggled to collect everything. And then the older I got, the more experience I got with the game. It was getting easier and easier for me to do some of the harder challenges. And by the time like I finally beat King K. Rool and collected everything there is to collect in the game, it felt like, I don't know, just a huge achievement. This game just does something to me that I don't experience with other games. And I don't know if it's because like of the mechanics in the game, or like the fact that you have 5 very different playable characters to play as. I haven't seen a game quite like this. Similar games, you know, Banjo, very similar. Some aspects of Mario similar, but this game specifically, it's just so different. It's just so unique to itself. And I think I'll just always love it. Cooper's asking a good question here. If I have kids, or if I'm going to have kids, have they played it, or will they play DK64? How much have I, or will I help them progress through the game? That's a really wholesome question. I'm not a father, I don't have kids, but if I were to down the road, my hope is that they will take on an interest in gaming. I would certainly want to show them the game and try to see how far they can get. I also think this game kind of teaches you patience in a way, and I think this game kind of teaches you delayed gratification, and that if you put in the effort, you will achieve greatness, right? And I don't know, I might be overthinking it, but this game does kind of offer just some sort of life lessons in a way. Ben Martin asks, what video was my favorite to do, and which one took the longest to make? Awesome question. So I did mention earlier, I think my favorites were the video on the music and sound in the game, and the guns in the game. Those are fun videos to work on. I'm very proud of them. The one that took the longest, the two that come to mind for me were the Donkey Kong 64 randomizer, the supercut, and then the NSO collab video with Jiggy. Just because there's significantly more content to that video, and actively making decisions of, I need to cut down hours worth of gameplay. I need to cut down hours worth of conversation into a 20 to 30 minute video and an hour long video for the supercut version. And it after many rounds of revisions, you kind of start running out of places to make things look clean and efficient, fast moving, right? And also like the project file starts to get really hunky and a couple of times the project file would not go corrupt, but it would crap out on me, and it would require a lot of computer restarts, even just trying to export some of those larger videos. It took a lot on my computer, so that just means it took longer and longer to make the video, right? Thanos Thick just says, oh, banana. Renegade Gamer is asking, is DK64 your favorite game? If not, what is? That's a tough question. I don't really know what my favorite game is. I do think that DK64 is among my, I don't know, top 5. But I don't know. I really don't know what my all-time like favorite game is. I could definitely go on for hours and hours trying to figure it out. I mean, I love games like Mario Sunshine. I love non-Nintendo games like The Last of Us. I guess a lot of it comes down to my mood. It's a tough question. I don't think I have an exact answer. Vendetta the Great has a few questions. Who would win in a fight between all of the Kongs and DK64, and why? I think the correct answer could be Chunky. Now, he's got the personality where he wouldn't want to fight, but he's got the strength where if it came down to it, he would? He could? I don't know. I would put money on Chunky. I think he's got some serious power that we have yet to see. And then the second question, who would win in a fight between the Kongs, Conker and his crew, and Banjo and his crew? That's a tough question just because I'm not familiar with Conker yet, and I only know so much of the Banjo side as well. I would definitely turn this question over to some of the other experts that I'm sure are already in the comments. Frank Simons asks, DK Game Theory, how DK Island, Diddy Kong Racing Island, and Banjo-Kazooie layout are in the same world. So I will actually turn this over to a video that Jiggy Lookback made. He made this really awesome video about how all of the rare games essentially can share the same universe. It's been a while since I watched it, but it was really a well-detailed video, very informative. And if you want an actual answer, that's a great place to find it. Dookie Frez asks, what's the hardest level in Donkey Kong Country history? I unfortunately don't have an answer to that because the only country game I've played so far is Tropical Freeze. I am definitely going to be changing that in 2025, so hopefully I will have an actual answer for you then. Fish4 asks, what would your response be to the critics who say DK64 is a deeply flawed game? Thing is, I will agree that the game is flawed, but I don't think it's deeply flawed, and to the critics that feel this way towards the game, I feel like they haven't given it an honest chance. I feel they're getting stuck on aspects of the game that might not be fair, or I don't know, they're not giving it an honest attempt. I don't know. It's tough. We're not all gonna love the same games. If people are gonna hate it, they're gonna hate it, and it is what it is. Second Quest asks, do you have a group of Joe friends? No, I don't. I don't know that many Joes. A couple of Joes I've met in my life have not been at all similar to me. So, kind of the only Joe that I know. All right, Golem TR asks, isn't it crazy that Donkey Kong gameplay-wise was never a high-tier character until DK64? Not playable in Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong 2. DK64 was his first time on top. That is really interesting. I don't really know what to say about it. It's weird. Like, Donkey Kong as a series is very big for Nintendo. The series and the character has been a part of Nintendo for a very, very long time, and it's a little bizarre how much of a back seat the series gets. So yeah, I don't know. It is crazy. K-Roll Industries asks why you make videos on Nintendo baby games instead of good games like Call of Duty or Fortnite. So I'm sensing a sarcastic tone here. I will say I've only played a little of Fortnite in my life, and it's just not for me at all. Really, online multiplayer games are just like not for me anymore. I don't know, I'm too old, I don't have time to play games, and there's always gonna be some 10-year-old playing 24/7 that's gonna completely destroy you, right? I've played a little of Black Ops 1 and 2. I enjoyed it at the time, how many years ago that was. I mean, when it comes to making videos about like Nintendo games, I mean, I've always been a Nintendo kid, that's just what I grew up with. It's not only is it what I know, it's what I love and what I believe is some of the best within gaming. I can't believe Donkey Kong December has come and gone. This project took a long time to make, 2 years in fact, and I'm really proud of every single video that was released. I'm completely blown away by the response of this community. This game really resonates with you all. And I think it's amazing that we're all able to bond over this one game together. I'm also blown away that other creators on YouTube have watched this series. Even Grant Kirkhope, the composer himself, acknowledged it. That's really special. I never anticipated this channel going anywhere. I just had one idea in mind and kept going from there. I don't know what this channel will look like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road, but I'm incredibly proud of this series and very grateful to everyone watching. And I'm thankful to the new friends I made along the way. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you. You are awesome. So please take this golden banana.
Oh, banana.